Eminem has been a figure of controversy since the mid-90s, and the rapper is no stranger to getting called out publicly. Whether it's for personal reasons or in an attempt at making a name for themselves, plenty of performers tried and failed to dethrone the real Slim Shady. Today, we're gonna count down the top 10 times Eminem has destroyed the careers of people who have challenged him. Before we start, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Ranker, and give us your opinions in the comment section below. Okay, away we go. Number 10. Christina Aguilera. The ongoing feud between Christina Aguilera and Eminem dates all the way back to 1999, when Christina brought up Eminem's secret marriage alongside allegations of domestic abuse in an interview on MTV. Eminem famously retaliated by putting the singer on blast in the 2000 Grammy Award-winning single, The Real Slim Shady. He would also slam ex-Tina in the track Off the Wall, where he imagined the difficult task of dragging the pop star through the Sahara Desert. Christina would respond to Eminem on the single Can't Hold Us Down, and would later be forced to announce Eminem as the winner of a 2002 MTV Video Music Award. The two reportedly hugged one another backstage, and the genie was put back into the bottle. Until 2018, when Eminem put Christina back on blast in a freestyle video. In a shocking turn of events, not willing to get involved in another heated feud, Christina Aguilera decided to take the moral high ground and brushed off the new barrage of insults. Alright, stop, collaborate, and listen. In the early 2000s, 90s performer and entertainment's easiest target, Vanilla Ice, would attempt to take on Eminem in a futile display of desperation and irrelevance by releasing a diss track of his own and insinuating that he paved the way for Eminem's stardom and that Eminem should be thankful to him. To make this shameful attempt to get back into the spotlight even more depraved, Vanilla Ice began dyeing his hair exactly like Eminem and dressing in white t-shirts. Before Vanilla Ice could kill Eminem and assume his final form by making a suit of his skin, M called Vanilla Ice out for his stalkerish behavior on the track Marshall Mathers on his eponymous LP, which was weird because there are so many more things about Vanilla Ice to make fun of, like dressing up like a children's TV show host, tattooing the words "wide open" on his knuckles, or desecrating the American flag. This feud started like all great feuds start, over not acknowledging someone in the hallway of a hotel. Yeah, that's right. House of Pain's frontman took offense to Eminem snubbing him in a hotel hallway. Everlast responded to this complete misunderstanding like any reasonable adult would by putting Eminem's 6-year-old daughter on blast in the verse of a hip-hop song. Eminem responded by releasing the track I Remember, which is a pitch-perfect parody of Everlast's foray into blues rock, and it would be hilarious if it weren't ladled with homophobia and hate speech. After the track was released, Everlast brokered a peace agreement with Eminem over the phone, but his career never really regained his House of Pain level of stardom. Now he might really know what it's like to have the blues. Do you like your rap beef to be wider than this clip of Motley Crue's Vince Neil doing the chicken dance? Because if so, you're gonna love the weird feud that Fred Durst started with Eminem during that Everlast situation. Durst approached Eminem during the height of his Everlast beef about collaborating on a Limp Bizkit diss track aimed at the House of Pain's frontman. Eminem agreed to the collab, but then suddenly, Fred Durst decided to go full-on Lando Calrissian by betraying Eminem on national television.
I had no choice. They arrived right before you did. I'm sorry.
Fred told an interviewer that he thought Everlast would whoop Eminem's ass in a fight. Eminem responded by releasing the track Girls, aimed at ridiculing Durst's band Limp Bizkit by calling them little girls. In them's fighting words in the white boy rap rock game, Limp Bizkit would fade on into obscurity along with cargo shorts and bleached tips. To add insult to injury, Fred Durst would find even more failure as a director, as his debut film, The Education of Charlie Banks, would gross a paltry $15,000. Woo, what a kick in the chocolate starfish. Raymond Bizino Scott, co-founder of The Source magazine, earned the wrath of Marshall Mathers when his magazine rated Eminem's 4th studio album, The Eminem Show, at a paltry 4 out of 5 stars. This is when Eminem decided to play the absolute worst card in his Magic the Gathering deck, the reverse racism card. Eminem claims it's because he's white that he'd never get 5 out of 5 stars from The Source. Benzino then made the sour mistake of releasing several diss tracks aimed at Eminem, taking shots at Eminem's personal life and even went as far as to threaten the lives of Eminem and his daughter in a 2003 diss track. With the bar now lowered about as far as it could possibly be, Eminem released 3 retaliatory tracks at Benzino and appeared in an exclusive interview with the Source's competitor, XXL. This kicked off a huge feud that the Source would not win. The ongoing beef between Benzino and Eminem started to hurt the magazine's sales, and Benzino was forced to resign as COO of the publication and had to relinquish his ownership. Ja Rule is known for 2 things: sounding like he's perpetually holding back a burp and getting dunked on by Eminem. Eminem's beef with Ja Rule started when Eminem signed rapper 50 Cent to shady Aftermath Records. 50 had apparently been seen hanging out with a guy who stole Ja Rule's jewelry, so Ja took great offense by the signing. Ja Rule went on to diss Eminem's daughter, because nothing says, "I'm a strong, threatening man," quite like making fun of a defenseless young girl. The feud kicked itself into high gear when Eminem started shredding Ja Rule on the single Hail Mary, featuring Busta Rhymes and 50 Cent, which showcased rhymes like, "You ain't no killer, you a and if Pac were here now, he would never ride with Ja." Unable to mount a lasting defense against the sheer lyrical megazord created by Eminem, Busta, and 50, Ja Rule and his rap label Murder Inc. began dwindling in popularity around 2007. Ja Rule went on to co-create the most disastrous music festival in history, the Fyre Festival. So yeah, he's probably just kicking back, enjoying some luxury cheese sandwiches somewhere. The feud between Eminem and Mariah Carey has been a boiling cauldron of stupid since 2002, when the two had allegedly dated for a period of about 6 months, according to Eminem. Their brief fling had all the makings of a classic romance. You know how it goes: an emotionally volatile rapper meets an overprivileged narcissistic singer. I mean, why would you slowly build a dumpster fire when you have a perfectly good flamethrower lying around? Shortly after their alleged tryst, Mariah Carey began showing up in some pretty stunning lyrical digs on Eminem's tracks, and thus ignited a years-long feud of misogyny and gaslighting that would make Al Bundy seem like whatever Ryan Gosling's character's name in The Notebook was. After Eminem was finished showing how big and strong he was by publicly calling a woman a and playing Mariah's voicemails for crowds of thousands while on tour, Mariah went on to have a series of spectacular meltdowns. And while the singer still has a career intact by way of a certain Christmas jingle, she would go on to refuse entrance to a hotel until they laid out a candle-lined red carpet for her, and storm out of President Barack Obama's inauguration dinner due to her not being seated at the president's table. Her at-the-time husband, Nick Cannon, would eventually step up in his wife's defense, which leads us to number 3, Nick Cannon. Watching Nick Cannon attempt to take on Eminem is a bit like watching Air Bud versus Predator. It was exactly what you would expect would happen when a short-form improviser who tried to revive Yo Mama jokes enters a serious rap feud. The two exchanged words over a series of interviews and tweets, which ended with the two weirdly obsessing over each other's penises. Eminem would go on to insinuate that Nick Cannon had no balls, and that he would cut off his own balls before he let Nick Cannon defeat him in a rap battle. Nick Cannon responded by saying he had heard that Eminem was giving oral sex to a chauffeur, which Eminem denies. Eminem later requested that Nick Cannon stop lying about his penis and these sexual endeavors because, quote, it makes his gardener jealous. Needless to say, getting completely annihilated by Eminem didn't really do much for Nick Cannon's brief foray into the rap game. He now hosts the show on which Mickey Rourke sang Stand By Me dressed as a cute little gremlin, and we're just not sure that you're allowed to rap after something like that. One of Eminem's spiciest beefs was with the Insane Clown Posse. The whole thing started in 1997 over a flyer for an Eminem concert in which M falsely claimed that ICP would be performing in an attempt to coerce the rap duo into participating. When Violent J found out about it, he did what any normal Insane Clown Posse would do. He told Eminem to kick rocks. In an attempt to keep things mature and reasonable, Eminem and his cabal of Detroit rappers D12 would later chase ICP out of a nightclub and shoot at their van with paintball guns. Then, the two warring factions began hurling incredibly homophobic and strangely sexual diss tracks at each other. And for a minute, it was unclear as to whether the three rappers hated each other or were just spurned lovers aching for connection. Apparently, this feud was so devastating to the Insane Clown Posse, it made them forget how magnets work. In 2012, rapper and human Chipotle bag Machine Gun Kelly took to Twitter to let Eminem know that he thinks Eminem is the king, and also to tell him how hot he thought Eminem's daughter Haley had become. Okay, there are two truths in life. Number one, you cannot avoid death and taxes. Two, you should never mention Eminem's daughter unless you want to be lyrically eviscerated. 6 years later, Eminem responded directly to Machine Gun Kelly on the track Not Alike on his Kamikaze album, calling out the human equivalent to a detention desk for using Haley to get attention. This would prompt Machine Gun Kelly to release the track Rap Devil, and the flames were fanned. Eminem also released the track KILLSHOT, and many fans on both factions view the track as exactly that, stating it might not be possible for Machine Gun Kelly to clap back from the 4-minute lyrical nuke dropped by Eminem. Now, this is an ongoing beef, and Eminem just fired more shots at Machine Gun Kelly on his new track ZEUS, where he referred to the man with the body of a distracted child's notebook as a gnat. Will Machine Gun Kelly take that lying down? Well, we know he has his sights set on releasing another album in 2021, so only time will tell. There you have it. 10 times Eminem destroyed other rappers' careers. How did we do? Did we miss anything? If so, feel free to write your own diss track and hash out your beef in the comments below. Be sure to check back with us again for more ranked content from Ranker.